So what up, you guys? Welcome to Elo Design Studio. And on today's video, I'm going to teach you how to use Adobe Portfolio. Now, for those who don't know what Adobe Portfolio is, it's a free portfolio that comes with your Creative Cloud subscription through Adobe. So for those who already have an Adobe account and who are already subscribed to Adobe, you have a free portfolio. Now, I just wanted to show you a brief overview of my portfolio that I have. It's just a basic portfolio that I use when hiring, like in submitting my applications for certain agencies. So what we're going to do in this tutorial is just basically have a basic portfolio template that you can have, that you can create, and we're going to navigate the theme, learn how to add pages and descriptions, and also have a about page and contact page. So the first step will be to sign in with your Adobe account. So what you're going to do first is go to portfolio.adobe.com. And like I said, for those who already have a subscription, just log into your creative account. And if you don't have a subscription, just sign up. The next step would be to select a template. Adobe is going to give you a web page to create a template or to choose a template out of all the templates that they have. Now, it may seem very boring just to select a template, but once we go in and create our template the way we want it, it's going to look a lot more personable. So I think for my portfolio, I have this template. But what we're going to do for the sake of the tutorial, we're just going to choose a certain template. So I think I'm going to go with this one. So once you go in, we're going to put use this theme. After that, we're going to navigate the theme. So once we've chosen our theme, we're going to start navigating just everything and where everything is, so we have an understanding of where to go for what thing. So the way that Adobe Portfolio is set up is everything that we need to navigate is going to be on this section. The essentials, the site, the collections, and how to edit all the collections are going to be split down into these different categories. So for our first category, for the essentials, what we're going to do is just go into the pages. Now, for those who may seem confused, a page is basically a page on your website. What would that be? Like an Adobe, like an about page or a contact page. That's just one example. And then a collection is basically like a grid with that you can add pages to, like a set of projects. So if you want a collection of like a photography album or a collection of projects, that's what you would add for a collection. Or let's say if you want to have two different collections, like a password protected site, that's where you would go for a collection. And then if you want a basic page, you can just add a page. Then what we're going to do first is add our pages. So what we're going to do next is add our first page just to get started. So let's make this example an about page. And then instead of adding this to our work, we're going to add this to the navigation. So this is basically your about page. So this is populated right here if you haven't seen. So if you want to go in and add different pages, this is how you would go and separate those. So if you want to add pages by different project titles, or if you want to add them by different sections, this would be all the sections on your website that you could populate here. But you would do that by going through pages. Integrations is basically integrations of different sites and different Adobe applications and how they could integrate to your portfolio. So what I like about Adobe Portfolio, and it's my favorite feature, is adding this Behance integration. For those who don't know what Behance is, it's a portfolio platform for designers to use for free, and you can have this without having an Adobe account or not. And we can do a Behance tutorial later, but for this purpose, what's good about this is that you can integrate Behance with your portfolio, so that if there's projects that's on your Behance account that you'd like to sync, or vice versa, you can sync that through this feature, which is kind of interesting. And then also, if you're a photographer and you want to use Lightroom, you can use that feature here, and you can use that and add your albums there and sync your projects or your photos within the same portfolio. And then also with Adobe Stock, it's also another feature. But that's just for integrations. And then for the theme, this is how you can go back to switch your different theme. And we'll show you how to do that more later. But that's just on navigation. And then your settings. Once you go into your settings, you're going to have a home page, analytics. Search optimization is very important. So for those who want to be searched through your web page, this is a good feature to have, like a description or key tags. If you're a certain type of designer, let's say a web designer or a brand designer, this is where you would go. And then they have meta tags that you can add. The favicon, where this is where that little image that populates in the corner. So if you want to have like a personalized image there, that's where you could go. The web clip icon. So if you send your portfolio somewhere, this is the icon that comes up. Social thumbnails, site options. If you want your whole site to be like protected, this is also another portion. The password protected section. If you want your whole site to be password protected, and if you want a certain password, you have that right here. Cookie banner. And then restoring the web styles. I'm not too sure about that one. And then this is just basically like managing your portfolio account. So all your settings will be in there. And then if you want to make changes to your theme or to your portfolio, like if you want it in a dark theme, you would go, this would be under site, and then go to your background colors. And then if you want to change it from light to dark, if you want to change the font of like your whole website. Now, mind you, what's the only problem that I don't like about this is that you can't go in and really change as much as you want. You can add your fonts personally through Adobe Portfolio and through Adobe Fonts, which is kind of cool. But there's not many features where you can use your own custom fonts. But we're just gonna use like the basics ones as of right now. And I want a sans serif. I don't know why this seems cool. But yeah. But that's kind of what's cool about this too. You can change your fonts here. But we're just going to use something basic for the time being. And then if you want to change the background of your portfolio, you can go in here and do that as well. I personally just like black and white just because it contrasts with the photos that you have already. But that's just my personal preference. But it's your portfolio. I feel like what people have to understand is like having your portfolio needs to be about you. So always make it personal. Always make it, always make it special to who you are. And then the next step is like the website container. So if you want to change like the margins, or if you want to go in and look at like different options of like changing the margins in between your descriptions or your projects, this is basically where you would go. And then if you want to have your logo visible or not, or a caption. And then with other navigation, like this basically shows if you want your projects to be on this title page right here. A lot of times I wouldn't. Like if you want like a subtitle, or if you want like social icons added, you can. If you want the footer added on the bottom. Sometimes people don't like that. But if you want social icons for your website, you can add that right here as well. And then for those who want to, and then your pages would be right here. So this is just basically like the same thing as of this, but instead of doing it in the navigation, this is going to be the actual page. And then if you have like other like descriptions, if you have like hovers, that would be like changed over here if you want to change the dates of your projects. And then if you want to change like the collection backgrounds, if you want to add a masthead, that's basically like the first page. You can't really see it because it's white, but it's basically like the first page of your portfolio if you want something there. If you want like a little back to the top section. And then if you want to navigate the back to the top section, that would be here too. So that's just a basic overview of navigating the basic template. What we're going to do next is add our images. So what we're going to do now is actually add our page and add a project. So as you can see, I already have a page right here that's from a previous portfolio, but I'm just going to delete that for the sake of this tutorial. Okay, so this is what your page is going to look like starting off. So what you can do right now is add a page. And then if you are a photographer, this is where you could probably add a Lightroom album that you have specifically for you. But what we're going to say is like, let's put like example 1 or like project 1. And then this would just be the actual title of your project. And then the destination for this would be in work. If you want to have like a different collection, you could just add that right here. So this is how you add your images. You go in here, go to image, and then just select whatever album that you want personally. And that is how you basically add an image. After that, we're going to add our descriptions. So there's many ways to comes to adding your descriptions. You can add it through the page title first right here. So you can add your descriptions here. You can also add captions. I personally think it's good to have captions in your portfolio or small descriptions. Nothing too crazy though, because once you start adding like heavy text, it kind of makes it a distraction when you have too much text within your project. And if you want to add an image or add more images or add another feature, you can just hit this plus sign and you can add your images right here. And then if you want to add more with your descriptions, you can hit the actual icon right here and then put add a caption, and then you could put like a caption right here. And then if you want to do like more edits to this, you can also like, change the width, change other alignments within here as well. Then we're going to add our social media links. So now that we've added our images, our descriptions, we're going to start to add social media links to this. There's several ways to make social media links. If you want them to be on the front of your portfolio page, what you can do is you go in here, you go into footer, you go into social icons, and then you just add your link to your site. So what you could do is, let me see, because if you add like just the name, it's not going to populate. Like you need the actual URL. So what we're going to do is just add our URLs. I'm going to add mine. Make sure you have this toggle so that it populates so that people could see it. And that's basically just adding your social icons. If you want to go in and add them different places, what you could do is you can go into that project per se, and then you can hit that add button. And then you can add your social icons here to like the end of a project. And you can also edit them here too. Here's a recap of everything that we did. And then with populating more of your portfolio, it's kind of, once you get the hang of it and you add one page, you can add multiple pages to this. And then once you can add grids, you can add so many projects, like as an example. And I'm going to give you guys a couple bonus tips too. If you want to like edit your page covers, they're going to be right here. You have to click on that page cover. So if you want to change it, you can go in here and make some edits to that. And then it'll populate. Even though it's the same thing. Let's try this one. Yeah, I just use some of these images as an example. And that's basically like how you created your own basic portfolio. Once we can also go to the about page and kind of do the same thing, add an image. So let's say like there's an image of you as an example. In my opinion, it's kind of good to like have a description. So there's also a feature right here where you can add like personal text. That's kind of what I did with mine. And you kind of have to edit it yourself to like make it like colorful. For the sake of this, I'm just going to make it kind of basic. But what I just did is like highlight it and like change the text and change the images. It's kind of easy to navigate once you get the hang of it. You can also change the fonts right here as well. And also remember to like save it so that it saves. But you don't have to always be like very repetitive too. But you can also add like your social media links and everything on this page as well. But this would be like your about page. And then you also have a contact page where you can you can't really do much to the contact form unless you like have different, like if you want someone's birthday or something, I don't know why, but, or like add other fields to it. You can also customize it, but it's not as like it's not as detailed as it would be. I would just say, like, if you want to have it like a certain color that kind of matches the theme of your site, you can. Also, make sure you change that submit button so that it's visible to people. That's also like my personal opinion, because you always want to make sure that your portfolio is not only like visually pleasing, but you want to make sure it's actually able to work and that it works for the user. For those who don't know, that's UX UI. But it's very easy to use this, in my opinion, and it's free. You know, since you already have a Adobe subscription, you use it every day, you might as well take advantage of it. But when it comes to adding your domain and everything as well, you can just go into your settings and you can purchase a domain. They have very cheap domains, or you can connect one, but it's very easy. Or you could just edit the actual domain of the actual website here, and then you can save it. And then what you could do to publish, so once you are finished with everything, you're ready to go with your portfolio, you can just publish your site, and then it activates it, and then you can view it here, and then there you go. And then, you know, this is a very cheap example, but that is basically like the way you can just edit your entire portfolio. Just easy, simple, quick, and straight to the point. And I would personally just make sure, like, pro tips, like, make sure you have small images that are not too big, because if they're very big, they're going to take forever to load. Make sure you have meta tags. Try to add alt text the best way you can, just so that you're searchable, so that you have good SEO. And for a bonus tip in this video, I wanted to teach you all how to go back and change your theme. So how to change your theme, you can literally just go back to themes and you can change your entire website. So let's say that you don't really like this theme, you're not feeling it, and you want to change it. You just use this theme. And the only hard part is that you're going to have to edit again, like the way you want it to. Like, you see how I had that in, you know, dark mode. I probably just have to go back in and change it to however I like it. But it's very easy to just go back in and change your entire site if you don't like the theme. But what's also great about this is that it still populates your projects so that nothing really changes other than just like the look of your actual website. And then if you want to change, let's say, your, you know, sizes of everything, of like your themes, you would also go back in here. Okay, so what you would do is you would go to page, covers, layout options, and just have them here if you want them like bigger columns or small columns for each project. You could change the gutters, the margins. I kind of like things that are very big and in your face, so that's kind of why I usually have it like 2 columns or 3 columns. But you could just go in and just add the images again. And another pro tip that I wanted to show, for those who want a password protected website or a password protected collection, you would go in here to pages, you would hit this bar menu right here, and then you can put add collection password. So if you have a portfolio that you only want work to have, like, for, let's say, like agencies that you've worked for, and you want to have it password protected, you can find that under here. So what you would do is create a whole new collection, add a title like private, or most people call it work, and then play is usually like your fun projects, but I'm just doing that for the sake of the tutorial. And then you add your projects here, just how you would if you were making like a regular collection or a regular page. And then you go in and then add your password right here. And then once you go in, you can go back to the private page if you want to. You can add your password right here. What's also cool about this pages section is that you can change like the order of like your projects too, like within here. Just change it, like just switch it right here, so it's so much easier to switch everything instead of trying to go back and like reorder everything how it was before. And then you can also like change what it looks like in the navigation through these like toggles right here as well. And then most people, the way they set up their portfolio, you can also change the titles right here as well. Most people would do like work. Oh. Most people would do something like work as like their agency work. And then play would be their personal work. And that is basically it. But basically, for all recap, changing projects, changing pages, changing anything within your page, like their theme or the settings would be in essentials. Looking at the colors and actually looking at like the visuals of it would be in here. And then going into the actual like collection of the edits of the collection would be in here. And I know this may seem very annoying. I just wanted to give you guys a preview of how to use it. If there's any questions, please feel free to like drop them below. I'll try to make like short little videos about them. I just wanted to give you guys like a basic navigation of how to use Adobe Portfolio and how easy it is to create a portfolio within like minutes. But if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. And I'm going to try to come up with more like website tutorials, but this website I really recommend and hope you guys enjoy. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you like, comment, and subscribe if this was helpful. And always remember to do what your art desires.